Welcome, Capricorn. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your fourth quarter, October, November, December 2023 reading. I've laid out the African Tarot. I'll clarify with the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot, and I'll finish up with a couple of Oracle cards. I hope that you enjoy this reading. Welcome to all of you that are new and to all of my familiar viewers. Thank you for spending some time with me. If you enjoy this reading, if you find it useful, please like, share this video with others who may enjoy it, and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. So your overall energy, Capricorn, for this fourth quarter is the Five of Swords. Gulp. As a Capricorn, I recognize how this kind of pursuit of your own truth, the ability to detach your emotions from your ideas, from your understanding of your experience, has generated this desire to change what you understand of your past, what you understand of your conditioning. This is the confrontation with your experience of being labeled, your experience of being relegated, put in a box so that you could be dictated to about who you were and what you could accomplish. This feels deeply linked not only to your family of origin, but to your experience, your formative years in school, as an example. This is a way in which the limitations of how others perceived you played into your insecurities, your sense of self-doubt, your lack of belief in your own ideas, and the lack of support you received to pursue your own ideas, your own beliefs, to grow. You are actively recognizing that the difficulty making changes, interacting with others in a positive way, not being hurt or blocked by the many experiences of sabotage that you have undergone, that this is really about the self-honesty that you were labeled, and as a result, a pattern of behavior and responsibility has carried through with you. This may even be a bit about guilt in your not being able to follow through on opportunities you had to change this because of the lack of support that you received and felt unable to be open to receive. So this is some deep cleansing work, deep healing work that you continue to do, that you have been on this journey for a while. And it's confirmed by the Devil card in the month of October. It isn't that you are recognizing all of these things in October or on the 1st of October or at any particular time. In fact, this reflects an experience of your entire life, since the Devil card is often seen as a card that exemplifies the experience of Capricorn, and that is the experience in conformity, of being locked into the expectations of others. For that reason, although laboring to provide support to others or to their desires or dreams, I'm going to have to take a drink of water. You have often limited yourself, limited your own experience because of what was expected of you, even in your rebellion against this, which is also quite likely, depending on your individual personality or destiny. That rebellion still reflected not a choosing yourself or choosing a new set of expectations or standards or goals that prioritize you, but reinforce the expectations of others by simply not doing them. So there's a sense at this point that you have lived a life that, even though you have gone on your own path at times, You've ultimately been limited, hit a glass ceiling as the result of being perceived in a certain way and allowing that to stop you, to limit you, rather than simply choosing your own goals. Well, I say simply, not so easy to do because of the amount of guilt that you have for not conforming to the rules, but to actually formulate your own desires, and the difficulty, depending on where you are in life and depending on your experiences, naturally your situation. But one of the hardest things for you to actually come to has been the development of your own desires, knowing what you truly want, not knowing what others projected you could do or be. And a lot of times those projections weren't even bad things. They may have been wonderful things, but they weren't the things that truly and authentically meant something to you. You're really looking at that, and you are struggling with what you continue to find as you go back and review and understand that changing this has meant changing the perception of yourself from a very early age, quite possibly by people that are no longer even around. In October, you have reached a place of closure. And my sense is that you are closing out authentically, perhaps an achievement, perhaps you worked at a job where you have obtained some success, perhaps not. Perhaps you've worked diligently at a job out of a sense of obligation, guilt, or that was what was meant for you, what others defined as appropriate to you. You're closing that out. You've come to the end of that. You've counted up your blessings. You've counted up the skills or the experiences that you've gained, the things you've mastered. You're appreciated. You've been rewarded for that and recognized for your achievement. And you're closing out that cycle. You're preparing yourself to move on a new journey. We're still in October, and what I see from the recognition that you have deserved, that you have earned, the growth in your skills, the recognition that you are not how you've been defined, that for you, maybe many years of being defined and being successful in a certain arena has not fulfilled your deepest desires. But now, with the skills you've gained, you now feel more confident about exploring the space of your heart, exploring your desires, perhaps feeling that you fulfilled obligations that were essential to the well-being of others, and now you are free to grow in an area of your own choosing. In November, we have judgment. Judgment for me means what awareness you've grown, how your consciousness has expanded as the result not only of completing this particular journey, not only of looking very deeply at how you felt limited by the way others saw you, but how this has been a part of your mission. This is lessons you needed to master, you needed to learn from in order to be on this path, courageously and confidently on this path that you're choosing for yourself. This isn't the first time you've made an attempt to this particular avocation. It's not the first time you have seen your destiny, your heart felt the blossoming of who you were as possibilities. But this is the first time that you've really understood that this, in fact, is where you've always wanted to be. And for some reason, you never felt you could give yourself permission to pursue this. It could have been materially dictated to you. You didn't have the resources or the support to do what you wanted to do, but now you've gained the ability to magnetize the support and the resources you need to move confidently in the direction of your passions. You're being given a second chance, but in reality, this may be many chances you've had at this before and not been able to make a go of it, follow through successfully, or it hasn't worked out the way that you thought that it would. Now you have a chance to understand profoundly that this indeed was your mission. This is why you're born. This is what the world has been waiting for. In November, Earth signs have really been getting a strong taste of this vision that has come through this agreement to conform to the necessities of their material experience and to be surprised at the healing that they've gained by bringing resources to others, balancing out their own desire, and articulating a vision uniquely, being a voice, even achieving fame in a way that you're able to speak to this desire, the destiny, the fate in this desire. That this is where every experience has brought you, and that seeing clearly the North Star, your aspirations, seeing clearly how the world has accommodated to your experience by design, and that unexpectedly you are now receiving the green light for you in order to pursue this goal, this path, this destiny, this journey in a way that you know you are successful. And in some ways, it is the result of your internalizing the ability to give, to sacrifice your talents to the needs of others, that you now see the universe has been building up this vision of what is possible for you. In November, we come to the Ten of Cups. And this is a beautiful fruition. This is, in my mind, this really couples with the Star card in terms of a community that is coming to form itself around your deepest desires. And that it will be in a multiplicity of ways depending on your circumstances. But the world seems to be conspiring to accommodate your desires, your paths, providing you with a community that allows you to be vulnerable, to share the fruits of your experience, the wisdom of your experiences, to know that resources can be generously and equally shared, and that there's real joy in simply the process of sharing those resources, those experiences, and being safe in that space. This is really quite interesting to me, how the sense of the world accommodating itself to you when most of your early experience, depending on where you are in life, seems to have been about you having to form yourself and accommodate, conform to the requirements of the world, of a job, of your family, of the needs of others. In December, I'm hoping that this hoarseness is some kind of a confirmation of the tremendous responsibility that you're undertaking in pursuing your destiny, pursuing your purpose. There is a sense of responsibility here that you're now understanding. And in December, you're actually doing the nuts and bolts of devising that team, devising that community, so that you can solve the problems, the mundane problems of not only working together, but of accomplishing something. This can be you recognizing that you are part of a team, countering against this myth of isolation, alone, being oppressed, being a victim, which may have been part of the story that you told yourself, even unconsciously, that your job was to make space for others. Your job was to play small and help others be great. And now you're realizing that this is a whole, or you've created a community, a team that understands that all problems can be solved together by simply agreeing to what the goals are. You're empowering others to work in this way. This may be a unique gift that you are offering in some setting. And particularly in December, something that you are part of building or creating is giving you this opportunity to show others how to learn, how to work together. There's a strong teaching vibe in December. The Three of Wands in December is also saying you have the courage now to plan what it is that's going to bring you to this new opportunity, this puts you on this destined path. You're already on the path, but you're actually formulating the steps, the inspiration, the desire to participate in the larger world, not to stay small, to instead expand with a sense of courage, confidence, without knowing where it's going to bring you. So in December, there may be a sense of waiting for all of the efforts, connections, contacts, communications that you've begun towards this new beginning, this successful unfolding of your fate, your purpose, your mission, and waiting for the fruits of those early tentative testing, expansion out, questing out to the world, curiosity, building, finding your contacts, finding your team that is occurring. And this is towards the close of the year. The Two of Swords, interestingly, puts you back towards the change of the year at being brutally honest with yourself. And this apparently is part of your process, part of the process that you share in the work that you do. There's a sense of advisement or teaching that may be embedded in the way that you are pursuing your heartfelt desire, the way that you're building this new vehicle to achieve your desires as part of a community, a way in which all of the opportunities that you may be looking outward to the world for are actually quite close at hand. It requires honesty. It requires humility. And this is for you some difficult stuff. This is about really looking at the way in which you have limited yourself as a result of the way that you've been limited, and how you can unpack that and actually recognize that infinite possibilities exist right where you are. I'm going to clarify the Devil card in October with the Ace of Wands and the Five of Pentacles. The two fives here, the Five of Swords and the Five of Pentacles, is really about not just the way that you have been limited by the way others perceive who you are and and the potential or possibilities that exist for you, but how that's limited your physical space, your material experience of the world, how that has engendered the sense that others get good things, others have success, others can achieve a high status or a well-paying job, and that for you, getting by has had to be enough, and how in many ways you have bought into that for some significant period of your life. You're aware of that now. You're clearly aware of that, and you're inspired that this is merely a construct that is seeded now by you, your own efforts, taking responsibility for, in fact, a new way of doing things, a new lifestyle, a new direction that has been emerging for a very long time. I get the feeling that you have never gone with the flow. You've never gone with what it was expected of you. And instead, there has been this incredible beating heart in you that has known your authentic self and has been looking for the opportunity or the way to that. And now you're understanding that you are or have been in the past your biggest obstacle, and therefore you are able to create this new beginning, this new lifestyle, this new path forward. The Judgment card in November is clarified by the Warrior of Wands and the Six of Cups. The Warrior is the Knight of Wands, and the wands are beginning to pop up here. And the Six of Cups is about your returning to the happy memories of your past. And in this particular case, it is about that talent that has never really been hidden from you. It has been a part of your life and your expression your whole entire life. You did not always see that. You did not always see how obvious it was that you were a misfit in your environment. You knew you were an outsider. You knew you were different. But the obviousness of your talent, your passion, never quite fit into those spaces you felt required to be. And it has been difficult for you to be successful in those spaces because this nagging sense of your own passion, inspiration, that talent that has been so obvious in your life throughout your life, from your earliest life, is upending your experience of happiness, of belonging. And now that you have found that, you are able to navigate a new beginning. You're able to understand how your relationships and how your place in your environment can contribute to options that are all around you, that are all within you and available to you. In December, the Five of Wands is clarified by the Awakening, which is another version of the Judgment card, and the Eight of Pentacles. I love this because December, all of your efforts are focused at self-improvement. You're working hard at polishing the talents you know you have, addressing the sense of destiny that has always been with you, that you had a fated path, that you had a purpose that you've always carried within you. And now that you recognize that, you are taking all the steps to develop your talents, to develop those personal qualities that will ensure your success. This is another card that, for me, in this particular space, is about being the change you want to see in the world. And this reverses the sense of powerlessness that you may have felt, the sense of deep obligation and being confined to some place that others believed you needed to be. You could only be, that your talents were invisible to others. You're misfit, you're unbelonging in these conforming structures was always about you not acknowledging and owning your talents and gifts, which you have been developing for quite some time, fully aware that this is what's helping you create and ensuring your success on this path of your destiny. I'm going to pull a crystal oracle and thank you in advance, Capricorn, for this beautiful reading. As a Capricorn myself, any support and advisement I hope you gain from these readings are support, advisement, or guidance that I myself am in deep need of. So I have pulled this Amazonite loosen your grip. I love that. And we certainly see that the card that represents Capricorn is all about chains, pain, ignorance, non-communication, oppression. And we are in a place where we know that we can loosen our grip on these conforming structures that have felt to be oppressive. And finally, I'm going to pull a Soul's Journey card and remind you that if you've enjoyed this reading, if you found it useful, like, share, subscribe, and absolutely comment. I love your comments. And I pulled failure. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. Thank you again. Until next time, namaste.